All right, we can't watch this
Continuing
for a
our
fucking hour.
series.
Dude, I saw this. John Doyle, how neocons are trying to use Israel to crush the new right.
Is on the MAGA civil war, one that is not likely
Boom.
to last much longer, considering the revelation that most of the individuals fueling it are not even American themselves.
Oh my god, this is yeah. Oh, yep, yep. This whole thing's probably just gonna fizzle out on its own, right? All the Groypers are Pakistanis, so we found out that Keith Woods was from Ireland, and that what's his name? Garbage Human Being is from Australia. So actually, if you think about that, that means that they're all a bunch of freaking Pakistanis. So it's over for them. And it's Asuka being from New Zealand was the hardest hit. I didn't see anybody else. I didn't see anybody else not being an American, or coming from like a bad country. You know, Asuka's genuinely the worst. Even better than that one guy who's like Groyper adjacent, Kaluga's girl or whatever. He's like a Mexican, right? But even that's not as bad as New Zealand. Like, what a disgusting. I just can't even get over it, dude. New Zealand. Damn.
Thank you, Elon Musk.
I will literally never trust him again. Isn't Lionheart a Pakistani male? Yeah. Yeah, he is. But, you know, other than him.
Never doubted you for a second. I kept the sticker on the laptop. You just can't see it. But we cannot discuss this properly without talking about Israel. That's right. The one you've all been waiting for, some of you for years. And now
you finally got clearance from your boss, Glenn Beck. I'm certain that this is going to be an interesting opinion.
Years of planned trust.
I am certain that this will be good. John Doyle, whatever Glenn Beck says is usually gold.
And impulse control will have finally paid off. For others, you will be forced to confront an actually high IQ and nuanced take,
which is okay. Yeah, I'm just too low IQ.
Likely too complex for your schizoid spurg brain to comprehend.
That is
and you will,
true,
of course, end up on the bathroom floor crying and pissing yourself, which,
as I do.
I kind of want that to happen anyway. And I really didn't have an interest in making that happen to you. I didn't really have an interest in talking about this in the wake of October 7th because I didn't want a bunch of like third worldists in my audience. And I, of course, would never bow to the whims of these like third world leftist types on my own volition. But considering the stakes of what's happening throughout the right at this time, being that both sides of the Israel-obsessed grifter class are attempting to sabotage the political future of J.D. Vance and therefore MAGA itself, us, they're going to get us all killed. So there's never been a more pressing time to align us all back into the scope of reality.
We will align back in the scope of reality and the scope of pro-Israel republicanism. Buckley, boys, the buckler. The buckler.
So we will discuss how the neocons are trying to reclaim their dominance over the Republican Party, an impossible task that could lead to a kind of mutually assured...
Are we neocons, or who are we?
Destruction. You know, we don't like the Samson option here. That's not very nice. That's not how we do things in America. So
I hate him so much, dude. I hate him so much. I hate John Doyle so much. I met him at Halfback and I couldn't stand him, even when he was on our side. I could not stand him even back then because he kept using... This is like an instant way to make me hate you as a person, is if you start using like internet lingo around me in real life. Or if you start like repeating back to me like Twitter memes and stuff in real life, like that's like an instant like 10 out of 10, like 11 out of 10, like rage crash out that you are playing with me. And he is exactly that type of person. Brother, shut up and get away from me. I don't want... You're like leaking cringe onto me, dude. You're leaking cringe onto me. Get away. Back up. Back up.
We will examine how these left-wing narratives and rhetorical strategies have usurped authentic and reasonable criticisms of Israel among the American right, how the traditional far-right critiques of Jewish people in Israel have been suppressed to make way for this new inclusive anti-Zionism, LOL, and we will properly outline the unpopular but correct stance on Israeli influence in American government. Most courageously, we will talk about that thing that we're not allowed to talk about.
Organized Jewry in America.
as so many people talk to me about. All of this and more coming up on the John Doyle Show. Do stay tuned.
Banger. I wish he did a little dance like Michael Knowles. You know? I'm just watching it and I'm just sitting here like, wait, where's the little dance?
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the John Doyle Show. You knew this was coming, Pete.
Doyle.
Let's just get it out of the way. What if I told you that you could win $100,000 either in pure gold bars or on a $100,000 check hand-delivered right to your door? Undertack, our old friend, the world's most course outlast freaking talking about freaking Israel and the Gaza genocide, all that stuff. And it's simply because I have a very pragmatic approach to sort of, I don't know, how the world works, I guess. So it's like in 2023... or prior to that, I mean, ever since 2020, you know, Trump's out of office. Nothing we want is going to happen anyway because, you know, Trump is out of office and he's been the only one in the last 10 years to make anything happen for us. So if Trump's out of office, we don't have a way of changing things anyway. It's like, okay, well, we should probably focus on getting him back into office so that we can continue to change things. And then from there, we'll see what we can get accomplished. Then in 2023, the October 7th stuff happens. Okay. We will talk about what happened there in a moment, but now Trump is back in office in 2024. Israelis have less leverage because of the October 7th stuff and what's happened on the left, pushing them towards the right. So they're losing, a lot of...
I see. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about the genocide there. I thought he was talking about the actual events of October 7th, that somehow that depleted the leverage of Israel in America.
I guess, as Trump said, the PR...
But that's what he's calling it. The genocide in Gaza, also known as the October 7th stuff. Just got the memo in from Glenn Beck. That's how we're supposed to refer to it.
Game, right? And I know it's popular right now to say that Trump is just Bush 2.0, that Israelis, actually do still have this like leverage over him. But you have to understand that before Donald Trump, your level of republicanism was defined by your commitment to wars in the Middle East. Now it is defined by your commitment to Donald Trump personally. For better or worse. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. In my opinion, things have dramatically improved. And they're not perfect. I didn't like the Iran bombing. I didn't support the Iran bombing. However, I also knew that it wasn't going to lead to freaking World War III. But if it were anyone else than Trump, maybe it could have. Maybe it would have been a lot more than a bombing. Remember, Kamala Harris, during the campaign, she was out there saying that Iran is the greatest adversary of the United States. Iran has American blood on their hands, whereas Trump is over here just saying, we have to make a deal. We want Iran to succeed. Very different from his rhetoric the first time around in 2016.
It isn't, dude. It was regime change rhetoric. Oh, brother. Yeah, that's so different than George Bush. George Bush, who said famously, I'm going to kill every single man, woman, and child in Iraq in the name of Israel. George Bush never said that we're going to build a democracy or something like that.
People were saying then Zion Don is going to betray us. We have first.
It's like it's literally just like nation building, but we're calling it Make Iran Great Again. It's different. It's new. It's bold.
Trump admin doesn't exactly happen. They run the same play going into the second Trump admin, and it doesn't happen. We were told he betrayed us with the Iran strikes, freaking World War III. I'm not happy about it. I don't really like that it happened, but I also understand that, it's at a certain point we have to trust Trump to just kind of navigate these.
We are not doing nation building anymore. That's neocons. Oh, fuck. I just puked. That's what neocons like. Neocons like nation building and they like regime change. That's not what MAGA is about, okay? What MAGA is about is strategic strikes to topple negative regimes and then working together with strategic partners to make the country great and rich and wealthy and free. Okay, now that's a completely different thing, and that's actually lovely, and that's beautiful, and that smells like sunshine and rainbows, and it smells like little flowers too, and we like it, and it's patriotic, and we don't want to go around
situations, which he does seem to be navigating better than anybody else could or would or has.
And it's strategic.
So, in any case, I'm talked to all the time about how you can't talk about Israel, which is funny because it's like literally the most popular political position in the world, being against the state of Israel. The Israel lobby is sold at Barnes and Noble. You know, you can talk about Israel all you want because the way that people are addressing the issue is, of course, from a leftist framework. That's why, you know, you've got these guys now who are like, dude, you can't talk about Israel, bro.
We're in the midst of do you have a job right now because of what happened? You have a job right now because of the shock troops that have stormed the trench, dude.
All my favorite podcasters who are in the top charts on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, etc., the most popular podcasters in the world, dude, they're telling me that you can't actually talk about Israel. Yes, you can. Literally nobody likes these guys. They are losing the PR war. You can talk about it all you want. Okay, so then why bring this up now? Well, they're bringing this up now because they're concerned about Israel because they think it's a freaking racist apartheid state that's harming brown bodies. I'm concerned about this right now because it costs the American right a tremendous amount of political capital, and now it would seem that the issue is poised to
350,000 people are subbed to this guy. Yeah, but not really. You know, there aren't actually 350,000 Doyle heads. Maybe like back in 2020 when he was a Groiper, there were 300,000 Doylers. There were. But now, you know, the Doylers have gone away.
Attempt to put Patriots back in the box leading into 2028. That's my basic thesis. My basic thesis is that the Israel issue is being exploited by the sort of like old guard GOP to try reconsolidating its power over the new right by staging this like AstroTurf fight so that they can repeat their pattern of purging anyone unlike themselves from the movement. That I don't think it's going to work. But they shouldn't even try it because it could get us all killed, right? Or rather just us killed, and then they return to the role of, you know, playing the establishment's opposition without ever actually doing anything, as was the case for decades prior to Donald Trump. And this is getting into 2028 because Vance is the only one who can articulate a truly America First position. Even his supposed competition, Ron DeSantis, you know, he can be Trump, but better. He's better than Trump on all the outrage issues, right? The COVID lockdowns, transgender bathroom stuff. That's what he tried doing in 2021, which I clocked before everyone else.
Whoa.
And he can try doing it again, you know, set the stage for himself in 2028 by now flanking on more classically Trump issues like immigration, what have you. However, this guy is still not willing to articulate a truly America First policy decision. In fact, you may remember when he tried to do this during the whole like Russia-Ukraine discourse, and he said something like, you know, well, we should only be focused on Americans. They made him walk this back. The neocon donors that installed him to try to take down Trump because they know that Trump's foreign policy is a break from theirs. These donors made DeSantis walk this comment back, and he did. We watched it happen. I really don't. I don't want to reopen old wounds. I'm just telling you, there's a reason that all of the neocons and all of the usual suspects have a big problem with JD.
Who is they, though? Who?
Vance. And there's a reason that there's such a concentrated effort to make us have a problem with JD Vance. And it's because he's the only guy right now who's actually willing to take those positions. JD Vance getting on stage at a rally to call the UK our closest ally, going on to speak about the history of our relationship. Our country is an outgrowth of 1,000 years of history that we share. Repeating again, the UK is our closest ally in the world. Have you seen that clip? JD Vance goes to Israel, and instead of doing that whole like wall kissing thing that American politicians,
oh my god, dude, it's like a month out of date too. Like all of these takes have already been addressed. He just barrels forward with them too. He just does not give a fuck. Let's go. And we're straight. Remember like 2 months ago when everyone was talking about this? And then everybody correctly assumed, hey, maybe the reason he didn't touch the wall is because of how bad optics it is.
$6
because everybody is always talking about it.
Would you please share with us your show and tell?
Okay. This is my inhaler.
It provides fast-acting relief of bronchial swelling due to asthma or allergies. One touch.
Same haircut.
And...
Dude, Jimmy Neutron was so goated.
Quite often do. He visits the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and then he goes on to state that Israel's vote for the annexation of the West Bank was a mistake and that it's not going to happen. He called it a stupid political stunt, and he also said that he personally took some insult to it. He said the whole thing was just very stupid. Have you seen that? He does a speech for Turning Point USA. He gets up there in Charlie Kirk's stead and takes pretty ruthless questions right on the chin from young voters or maybe would-be voters. And he returns to them like deeply articulate.
Okay, why doesn't he say that AIPAC should register under FARA and then do it?
Obviously well-reasoned.
You know, like, he's the vice president and Donald Trump is the president. They can kind of do... You remember, we can just do things? Because I'm hearing a lot of words. Exclusively words.
Well-read, sincere answers without avoiding the questions and deferring to tropes or applause lines like is typically the case. What political figure has ever done anything like that? Who else has ever given young white men a platform
JFK?
To air their grievances, legitimate or otherwise, face-to-face with the first in line to the head of state? He answered all of those questions perfectly, by the way, but he answered them. Have you seen those clips? No, you haven't, because people are lying to you. Whoa. And you're allowing your mind to be a sandbox for the CIA. We are witnessing...
Like who? Like Palantir? Do you think Palantir is doing this to me? Palantir is tricking me? This CIA contractor Palantir is somehow tricking me into...
literal anti-Vance psychological operations. The primary's already started, and so, yeah, we're going to set the record straight now, so that as everything is unfolding, you will understand exactly what is going on. And so I get to say, I told you so, just like when the 2024 primary started in 2021 with the astroturfing of Ron DeSantis by neocon donors, neo-never Trump media, usual suspects. I came out then to set the record straight, and I was able to enjoy saying I told you so later on. So we all stand to benefit from this. I get to do a victory lap. You get to be aligned with reality. It's perfect, right? But until then, we're going to keep seeing this from all sides, right? J.D. Vance is cozying up to Nazis on the internet. No, J.D. Vance is actually cozying up to fanatical Zionists. Everybody is lying about this guy because, once again, they all share an interest in handicapping the patriot cause. The patriot doesn't have to be a Zionist or an anti-Zionist. He does not recognize the concerns of other countries to be so important as to force him to, like, pick a freaking side. He simply puts America first, and he lets the chips fall where they may. And of course, if you're a Zionist who wants to use the power of the American state to forward your interest, or if you're an anti-Zionist who wants to do the same, well, yeah, that's going to be a pretty big problem for you, right? Remember, the least popular idea in the entire world is the idea that America should put itself first. Because as the top dog, if we're putting ourselves first, congratulations, you've just excluded and pissed off like 7.8 billion people. So yeah, of course, any guy that can actually do that is going to be attacked from everywhere. These interests just don't like go down without swinging, right? And remember also, J.D. Vance was Charlie Kirk's personal choice for the vice president because Charlie Kirk was thinking in terms of 12-year timelines. And he understood as somebody who knows intimately what is going on at all levels that Vice President Vance would actually be able to put Americans first. And that's why he's being attacked from everyone, being attacked from all sides.
Dude, this just kind of... this sucks, man. It just really, really sucks. Like, there's not even... You know what I mean? There's just no content because he's completely unwilling to, like, get into any specifics, you know? It's just all rhetoric. It's all rhetoric and cope. You know what I mean? It is all, you know, like ball washing for the administration. It is all just trying to say everything's fine. Make sure you don't criticize the admin whatsoever. We got an election coming up in 3 years, everybody. We really can't afford any disunity whatsoever. Hey, dude, it's like so done. It's so done. Fuck off, man. We aren't just going to blindly support and hope. I don't care. I don't care. Why? it pisses me off so much because it's like he's not even carrying water for Donald Trump. He's carrying water for the entire GOP. We need to drain the swamp. The swamp must be drained. They must be punished. Like, blood must be drawn figuratively, okay? They can't just keep getting away with it. We still have Mitch McConnell at 700 years old in Congress, okay? Donald Trump in 2016 was right. There is a swamp. It is the entire political class, and we have been strangled to death by them, and so has MAGA. And we're sitting here going, dude, the CIA is trying to trick you. The CIA is trying to trick you into criticizing J.D. Vance. He's not an Israel shill, even though the second he was announced as VP, he started talking about how he needed to bomb Iran, and 5 years ago, he was a completely private citizen working with Peter Thiel at whatever, dude. Whatever. No, sure, dude. Okay, it's awesome, dude. Who gives...
Sides. It's just these like kayfabe fights. You know that word kayfabe?
Yeah.
I don't know if you went through a WWE phase. This informs something like 97% of how I understand the world. In professional wrestling, there is something called kayfabe, which is to say that when Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker...
Okay, imagine that J.D. Vance is doing kayfabe because, as you previously said, the most popular opinion is that Israel is bad. And the baddest opinion that everybody hates is that America needs to continue its unconditional support of Israel and continue to allow all of our politicians to be bribed by Israel.
Are really freaking mad at each other and they really freaking hate each other. That's not actually because Shawn Michaels and
you see what I mean? Like it's literally like this entire show is just him talking around issues, carrying water for the GOP, and then like regurgitating memes he saw on Twitter and trying to desperately make them applicable to like the establishment position, you know?
Undertaker.
Like this was probably an anti-Israel meme that he saw first, and he's like, "Oh, but what if I could say that actually it was more like the evil Pakistanis trying to trick you into not voting for JD Vance?"
Really hate each other. I mean, I think they got along pretty well actually behind the scenes. You know, this isn't 6 feet under. But it's done so that you in the audience are really just like buying into this and you're thinking, wow, I guess the main event that I should understand all of this by is really just between Shawn Michaels and the freaking Undertaker. And I guess that those are the only two positions I can take. And they're going to inform what t-shirts I buy and how
You're not even doing a funny voice, man. Like, what is that?
Cheer, blah, blah, blah. It's kayfabe. It is done to obviously...
He just says freaking. Instead... Glenn Beck said no funny voices. Glenn Beck said funny voices, that's anti-Semitism. We can't do funny voices. All right, just keep saying freaking so that everyone can tell that you're being sarcastic, please. What's insane is that Bro is supposed to be the mainstream version of Nick.
Artificially, sorry, wrestling is scripted, artificially, you know, sort of present something to you. But in wrestling, it's for entertainment, right? It's not actually for, like, nefarious ends.
Freaking.
In our case, this is for a nefarious end, because the kayfabe is pretending that these, like, retards and these neocons really have a problem with each other.
I don't.
And have to, like, pretend that, you know, the opposite side actually has a lot.
I assume I'm the retard. He has made no mention of who the other party is.
More power than it does,
so I'm just
because ultimately doing so benefits them. They are employed to do this. They are paid to write about this stuff, to write about this conflict. This is such a threat. They are paid to amplify this stuff, whether deliberately in like literal US dollars or because of engagement incentives to play fight with these people. Why are establishment conservatives pushing to destroy the new right over this interview with Tucker Carlson, right? While the left is simultaneously like trying to kill us, celebrating when they kill us. Why would they prioritize that? You would think that they'd be more angry with the people actually like killing us, talking about killing us in text messages, literally killing us, celebrating killing us, inciting that killing of us on.
Dude, every time they try to make this point, it like comes down to this. Like the blame shrimply cannot be placed on the people of America for disunity in the Republican Party. The entire like Israel civil war, MAGA civil war, the civil war is happening because the donor class and the institutional class and the political class is resisting the will of the people. That's sort of the entire point of how America and the party system is supposed to work, okay? It's not that we just listen to and blindly support anything that the Republicans say. We are Republicans, and therefore Republicans represent us and our interests. But here we are like, oh, these people on Twitter. These people on Twitter. Yeah, dude, well, I don't have the power to do anything. Huh? If I did, I would be doing things. And the people with the power to do things are only doing what they want. Or what their donors want. And the donors are seeing that the people are getting really upset about that the people aren't getting anything that they want. And it seems that Miriam Adelson, you know, and AIPAC and all in big agriculture and big pharma, they're all getting exactly what they want. What do Americans want? They want Make America Healthy again. They want mass deportations. They want an actual America First foreign policy. We've built all this up. Our ancestors have built all this up for 300 years. And where do the fruits go? The fruits go to everybody except for us. The fruits go to, you know, whatever corporation, whatever tech bro is in the ear of the most politicians with a paycheck, right? But anyway, the Civil War, the disunity.
Mainstream television, but all these neocons are focused on is what's going on with us.
Why are they? Why are the neocons willing to burn down the entire Republican Party and the MAGA movement over the Israel issue? That is actually a very good point, John Doyle. A very pointed, very, very necessary question to ask. It's almost as if they have some sort of priorities that they're not telling us about. Or maybe they are telling us about, but John Doyle refuses to acknowledge them because it makes the whole situation pretty obvious.
People on the right, people authentically.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch the newest Jewish Leadership Conference Summit to see to see why these. Sorry, I can't get through. I'm just gonna have to tune into the International Jewish Leadership Conference that Ben Shapiro and everybody was speaking at, and I'll have to figure out what the hell is so important that they're willing to burn down the MAGA movement and destroy the Trump space over it. I just can't figure it out.
Right wing, authentic.
Shit, it's so obvious. I should have thought of that.
Conservative, and it's because their priority is not actually to defeat the left or to fight the left even. I mean, it never has been, right? What fruits do they have to vindicate that that would actually be their priority? Their priority has always been to gatekeep authentic conservatives from the political establishment.
True.
Which now means they want to destroy MAGA and reinstall the neocons into power.
Why?
That's why you're seeing reports about the Bush family planning to reclaim control of
What's Bush well known for?
Republican Party after the conclusion.
Who are the neocons in the Bush admin? Do you know any of them?
Of the Trump presidency. That's why you're seeing Ted Cruz. I think he's putting a book out. He's doing all this fighting with Tucker Carlson, with XYZ. He's giving speeches. That's why you're seeing Chuck Schumer, you know, condemn anti-freaking Semitism, do XYZ. The media is amplifying all of this. This is a big freaking problem. Israel anti-Semitism, the face of Nazis on the right. They will not shut the fuck up about this because they have to convince everybody that this is definitely a real thing that's going on and we all have to focus on it because this is really real and happening. Just like in the 1960s, you know, the ADL used to...
Bro, your boss is making those videos. You are just... You're describing you. You're describing yourself. You are a part of that exact influence operation that you are talking about. Oh, bro, dude, 57 minutes. 57. Every video on YouTube is an hour long now. The Blaze. You work for The Blaze. You work for Glenn Beck. Let's see. AI bots are experiencing brain rot. It's happening to us all.
This is probably
You are the youth pastor of the Glenn Beck religion. You are the youth pastor. That's literally like you know what I mean? You are the youth pastor of the Zionist religion, brother man. Okay, just because you don't wear a fucking suit, just because you come out here and you go, "Hey kids, how's it going? I smoke cigarette. I smoke with cigarettes. I'm not like the other I'm not like the other pastors. I smoke with cigarettes." Now let me tell you, these freaking neocons, yeah, that's right. I bet you didn't think I was gonna Yeah, that's right. I'll call it the neocons. I'm not like the other Zionists. These freaking neocons need to stop. They're stupid. It's never gonna go back to the way it was in the 2000s. But listen, we do have strategic interests in the Middle East, which makes it necessary to continue support of Israel. And it wasn't a genocide when they were bombing all those kids.
Essentially hire Nazi groups to go.
If you think about it, the Holocaust, 6 million people died. But in Gaza, 90,000 died? Doesn't sound like a real genocide to me. And if you look, the State Department says that the kill ratio of combatants to citizens was 10-1, which is in line with the most moral army of Israel. But anyway, we don't need to be sending them foreign aid. Jeez.
Go distribute flyers
All
in
right, dude. Awesome sauce.
Jewish neighborhoods in Florida, and also to keep the Nazis, or the swastikas rather, on their magazines in exchange for like guaranteed sales. All because they knew that, okay, if you want to crush like a real America First right wing, something that actually reflects the interests of Americans, that Americans would naturally want to agree with, you're going to have to kind of create this kind of like boogeyman to attach to it, right? You're going to have to kind of give normal Americans permission to be like, I don't know if I agree with all of that, but also
I think once this show fails, they're going to put him up on TV. You know what I mean? Like, John Doyle really needs a forced audience for success, I feel like. He's like everything that Brylan Hollyhand wants to be.
Importantly, to scare your people into giving you money, into giving you a mandate to crush the opposition, to purge them, to exile.
Yeah, I think like Fox or something like that. I think that he's going to probably do a like, I don't know, like a bunch of episodes. And nobody's gonna watch it, and like they're gonna Barry Weiss them, you know what I mean?
Tell them to go after them with law enforcement, whatever, because they're freaking evil.
And then they're gonna be able to claim like, oh, after the success of his internet show, he moved on to TV. Like I feel like we're watching an AstroTurf here more than anything, but they don't like care to like actually do it hardcore.
Bad guys. We've talked about this at length in previous videos. This has been the play for decades. And they're trying to get rid of J.D. Vance. Anyone who doesn't go along with the establishment, neocon, freaking sophisticated, respectable conservatism, they're actually automatically a Nazi, right? They have to be gatekept for the good of, common good, whatever. I mean, well, they probably wouldn't even agree with that. But the point is, avoiding these kinds of traps would require generational figures like Charlie Kirk. And we all know what happened there and why it happened. And how, curiously, everyone benefits from that except for us. It really seems, and I have a lot of faith in the operation.
Who's us?
I know they're doing great work, but it does seem that a lot of people are trying to fill this vacuum. It does seem like a lot of people needed Charlie as a leader to keep this whole thing together. And this is all about the establishment trying to do exactly that. They're trying to fill that vacuum that he left. They're trying to capitalize on any resulting disorganization, confusion. They're trying to attack MAGA from all sides. We are fighting a multi-front war right now, exactly as we should be if we're over the target against the Leviathan that is our enemy. So good, let them come. I like it. This is fun. There have been coordinated attacks against me by both retards and neocons alike just in the last week because they're threatened by me. And I like that. That makes me feel electric.
Threatened. 15,000 views in 24 hours.
I want you pieces of shit to squirm. That's how I know I'm doing the right thing. That's how we know that we're over the target.
Boom.
We're teething as a
I still don't even know who the fuck your enemies are, dude. You're just throwing around neocons and retards. I really Neocons and retards. The eternal battle between neocons and retards. I don't like Israel. I don't like Israel. No, no, no. Chad, BWC retards. Yo, where are all my base Chad BWC retards at? I don't like Israel. And I don't like Richard Pearl and Israel lobby. And neocons are just Israeli Jews and Zionists. And they gotta get the fuck out of my country already. And also I want to deport 40 million fucking people. Israel is not real. Even the name Israel is propaganda because Israel is not in fact real. Okay?
And it's making a lot of people very nervous. And we'll explain why right now. But of course, we're going to have to wind the clocks back as usual, right? So as mentioned, let's go back to October 7th. In the aftermath of this, a lot of people on the right became completely retarded because people began exploiting this kind of situation with Israel and Hamas by blaming the state of Israel for virtually everything, including even the weather, in order to kind of like court these larger audiences composed of people either obsessed with Israel or originating from third world countries, straight up living in third world countries right now. And it became so extreme that you literally could not even comment on like legitimate problems anymore. You know, you couldn't talk about Muslim immigration into Europe, similar issues in the United States, rape gangs. You couldn't even talk about the misunderstanding of the finale to Wes Craven's 1972 classic, The Last House on the Left, without being accused of running interference for Jewish power, Israeli interests, XYZ. If literally anything you said did not include this like obligatory rider condemning Jews to the fullest extent possible and attributing every negative
Cancel culture
development to them, no matter how tenuous the connection was, you would be met with this accusation, and quite often even worse.
Look how uncomfortable he looks. You know what I mean? The way he's like like he keeps glancing off camera. It's like it's literally what I was talking about with the other ones, like the sort of terrified, free, like scared eyes. If he grew out like a beard, which it looks like he might be doing right now, if he grew out like a cope masculinity beard, he would be right there next to Captive Dreamer and James Lindsay.
Insurgent sent $5 W content.
Thanks, Insurgent. Praise one. Keep sending in money. We love it.
And as it would turn out, these kinds of dynamics are not actually harmless, and you can kind of see the endpoints of them. You know, the endpoints they create in someone like Candace Owens, who has descended essentially into like public paranoia. She's now claiming that the Kirk family, in concert with the state of Israel, assassinated Charlie Kirk. This illustrates just like how bad this can get, right? Ideas have consequences, right? Have you not completed the YAF reading list? And at the time in 2023, there were genuine reasons for people to want to avoid being associated with
you haven't even completed the freaking YAF reading list.
All this, right? Like, I mean, you know, Trump's campaigning, he's returning to office. We should maybe just focus on that. But you had people seeing this like unapologetic.
What the fuck is the... Sorry, I gotta look it up. What is the YAF reading list? Here are 11 books every conservative should read while self-quarantining. Number 1, Profiles in Corruption by Peter Schwarzer. Nice. Let me just check something. Doesn't say. Okay. Number 2, Liberal Fascism by Jonah Goldberg. All right. Don't need to look that one up. Number 3, Church of Cowards by Matt Walsh. Number 4, Who Stole Feminism by Christina Hoff Sommers. Number 5, Race and Culture by Thomas Sowell. Number 6, The Right Side of History by Ben Shapiro. Number 7, this is real. Number 7, With All Due Respect by Nikki Haley. That's real. This is real, by the way. Number 8, Conscious of a Conservative by Barry Goldwater. Boom. Number 9, The Case Against Socialism by Rand Paul. Number 10, Animal Farm by George Orwell. Number 11, Grace Canceled by Dana Loesch. Oh, and that's one of the Zionists freaking out on Twitter these days too. Wow, what a great reading list. That's fucking awesome, man.
Muslim content. You know, you've got these like immigrant activists in Europe.
No, that's the Young Americans for Freedom reading list that he just cited.
In England, who explicitly want more Muslim immigration, and they're receiving all this engagement solely for peddling this like low tier.
I never read Animal Farm. I was in the wrong class. You know, it was like you remember how in like middle school, at least this is how it worked. Like everyone was kind of doing the same thing, but they had like slightly different curriculums because of the teachers. I had a teacher for English that just didn't make us read Animal Farm, and the other teacher did, so I like missed it.
Anti-Israel clickbait, and a lot of people on the
Animal Farm is a good book, but it's like reading something for children to read. Is it actually? Yeah, it's crazy there wasn't a Pinheads and Patriots mention.
Right, we're just deciding to like accept this alliance or whatever in, of course, the most brain dead way possible, simply because of the rewards and the engagement and the publicity that's attached to it. You know, we're going to ally ourselves with people who for 1,400 years have defined themselves by opposition and hostility to our civilization. And, you know, 2 years later, we found out that didn't work quite so well. A lot of confusing stuff that went on at the time. And it was so confusing, actually,
mean?
In the wake.
Like, what does that mean? Like, me choosing to not attack Muslims because our interests are aligned, that has somehow led towards, like, Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan? No. No, that's sort of like what the whole American policy was for, like, you know, since 1990, just fill up the whole country, diversity bomb it. No. I actually don't have any control over the immigration policy of America.
Of this, that certain elements of like how the far right would traditionally or typically critique Jewish influence, those things were actually intentionally muted in order to create this appearance of some kind of like broad cross-ideological coalition.
$3. Can you do a gooning stream also, or gonna love the new Smiling Friends episode?
Yeah, I'm excited for the new I keep seeing clips of it. Fella, you're
Fella sent $3. Can you do a gooning stream
Tradbear,
also, or gonna love?
Tradbear isn't coming through, but we can check out what he sent in. Owen Benjamin owned the Groypers. Also, he name-dropped Zion Fart. Past lovers become enemies? Link.
Treadbear sent $3. Owen Benjamin owned the Guipers. Also, he name-dropped Zion Fart. Past lovers become enemies? Link.
Whoa. 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 Oh. Nick Fuentes isn't even bi. Do you think he's just full-blown gay with heavy pedo overtones? Is Dean Withers more straight than Nick Fuentes by being bi? Is Dean Withers more heterosexual? Nichols P. Fuentes? Does P stand for penis because he doesn't have one? Groiper Pakistani bots. Any thoughts? Yeah, well, you blocked me. Owen, maybe you're gay. Bro is such a fucking little guy, dude. He's such a seether. It's crazy, man. Every day. Every single day.
Alright, bro. Can we grow up?
I was popping my and living my best life in these white boy frat houses, and I had a roster of guys that I would rotate through.
You know it's hard out here for silly shows when you're trying.
Dude, I don't even know who this guy is. It's like, what would you do? What would you do if that happened to you? If your wife started making TikToks talking like that, it's like crazy. That's like one of the most insane things I've ever.
Treadbear sent $3. Owen Benjamin owned the Guipers. Also, he name-dropped Zion Fart. Past lovers become.
It's like it's just the most insane. I couldn't imagine getting destroyed like that. Like, what do you do in that situation? Do you literally just have to get the fuck out of there? Do you just, I don't know, like, do you just have to divorce and get the hell out of there? I feel like that's the only thing that you can do. That I couldn't think of anything more
Treadbear sent
emasculating.
$3
Shut up already.
And I give your honey every cent. With all the favorite podcasts, money spent. We let them bros talking shit on.
That sucked, the song or whatever. So, and he also hates Andrew Wilson.
Handler, like an AIPAC handler. What?
And you think that these people could ever attack the West? That's a laughable prospect. He has 10 million Jews in his backyard. They can't do shit about it. Nothing. 1 billion versus 10 million. They can't do anything because of the IQ difference in these regions.
You want to talk about
Whoa, that's crazy.
Israelis dominating Palestinians because of low IQ? Guess what? Which race actually has a representative that
I'm a total Andrew Wilson hater.
Controls every member of Congress, like a handler, like an AIPAC handler? What race are the AIPAC handlers?
I'm not as ecumenical as Nick. I hate this guy so much.
That are controlling Congress. What race are they?
No, he's like completely astroturfed. And like, what pisses me off more is that like, it seems that nobody on the right understands why he and the whatever podcast are actually popular. Like, and it's because like everyone on the online right is like men, so they're not on like girl TikTok. Dude, I swear to you, the only reason the whatever podcast has any viewers is because it's women that are hate watching it, and then like Myron fans. Like, unironically, that's it. And the women who hate watch it massively outnumber the like Myron fan like runoff that they got. On TikTok, this is going viral every single day. The whatever podcast is going viral with one of either Andrew Wilson or the host just getting like destroyed, by whatever like dumb girl that they invited onto the podcast to try to make fun of. It's like constant. It's constant. In every single clip that you'll see of the whatever podcast on TikTok will have like 200,000 likes, and it will literally just be like an A-log clip of them. Like, they exist to like throw propaganda to the left wing,
Are they white Christians?
And then like everyone on Twitter is like, oh man, I keep seeing these clips of these guys. It seems like everybody's super into them. It's like, yeah, as like easy targets, as marks, as jabronis, maybe.
Actually, Andrew, because it seems like 300 million Christians can't take care of just maybe a handful, 10 million of that one particular race that has a death grip over your country.
Boom!
Maybe address that, Andrew, the elephant in the room, and then tell me about IQ. The other point that I want to make is that, do I have to spell it out? Yes. Yeah, they're called Jews. They're called Jews, Andrew. And there are only 10 million of them. There are 10 million of them, but
they control your whole region?
They seem to have...
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, the thing about Israel is that they're able to dupe dumb Christians to support wars that are going to bankrupt America and cause America to really collapse so that they will have wars in the Middle East killing Muslim brown people, because you Christians apparently, by your argument, Andrew, are too stupid to realize that they're being destroyed by this one particular group. Gee, that's really high. That's really brilliant, Andrew.
Druk! As always, a viral clip. Ooh, and he's getting dunked on. Damn. That's crazy. Anyway. Whoa! Alright, a Dissident Wire has gone too fucking far with this one. That's too much, Dissident Wire. Come on, that's a bridge too far already. That is a bridge too far, Dissident. Why I can't keep watching more Doyle Tent, man.
Against Zionism.
I can't, dude. Does anybody want to watch more Doyle Tent? Like, I feel like there's every time I try to watch John Doyle, it's this. He just refuses to talk about any of the issues. It's just nothing. I hate it, man.
Would be so radical that it would upturn politics as we know it. It would be total victory. It was just inclusive anti-Zionism. It was saying, literally, that we have more in common with Free Palestine activists than we do.
Nobody says that. Nobody says that. When has anybody said, okay, let's deport all of the illegals from America, let's have an immigration moratorium, but the Muslims get to stay, and actually we need to let them take over our country because they support us in a regional conflict. We have had to burn down, like, I've fought with Suleiman like hundreds of times. Because I don't need to rehash all of that. Dude, they suck. They suck. It sucks having to deal with them. But it is what it is. I try not to attack Muslims and focus on them because clearly they're not the issue right now. And what the issue is that all of our politics are completely dominated by people who hate the fucking country. And that is also the case for the UK. And the UK is way worse than us, dude. The UK is still not even on the legal migrant question. The UK has just realized that maybe letting in millions and millions of illegal immigrants is not a good idea. They have not yet realized, like, hey, wait, but maybe the corrupt government, maybe the corrupt government giving you a piece of paper actually isn't the thing that makes you a British citizen. We're literally still anyway, whatever.
With the white frat guys mocking them for their obnoxious protests. And if you disagree with any of this, you were working for Jewish people, you were working for Jews. If you're not out there holding up the end Zionist white supremacy sign, it's because you're Jewish. It's literally what the signs were, dude.
You work for Glenn Beck.
Remember that. I remember being told when those protests were going on that you're more likely to red pill some, like, you know, Somali anti-Zionist than you are just like some like Chad white frat guy who's just like, you know, mocking them for being obnoxious or something.
So
like this is how people's brains were working 2 years ago, because they don't understand that these people just think that Jews are white people. They use the same arguments against Israel that they use against America and white people.
Yeah.
So you can't actually bring these people into your coalition, which already exists and kind of seems to be working, and expect it to now somehow function more effectively for you, to somehow now forward your interests better now that we have finally the advent of like...
There's no political power, though. This is what you're describing is like a voter rebellion, and somehow it's a bad thing. Why in what world would it be bad if the left is also protesting their own party for its own devotion to Israel and corruption just across the board? Like, how would that be bad, though? You know, because that's literally what you're describing right now, is a voter rebellion against a corrupt system. We're not talking about politicians, you know, like there isn't like a bunch of senators who are trying to team up with a bunch of senators from the left, and then they're going to come together and like block Trump's proposals or something, or form like a third part. Nobody is talking about that except for Elon Musk, and he likes to talk about things, okay?
75 IQ third worldists into the coalition. And because everybody's so confused and stupid now, they don't understand that the truth is that at least for the past decade, the issue of Zionism itself, like concerning the Israeli state as a project of British colonialism, Zionism itself played a relatively ornamental role in right-wing criticism. Like, generally, the idea was like, okay, it seems like the 20th century was dominated by...
So they dislike them for different reasons.
These, like, left-wing social and economic causes that all had in common the undermining of Western society, whether it's relating to issues of sex, the family, public obscenity.
All right, this is too much for me, dude.